Hello guys, Subhash here from Zara Hub, and yes, I know I haven't shaved in a while, but that's not the issue. Today we're going to talk about Samsung's latest, or should I say highest end smartphone, which is the Galaxy S20 Ultra. The phone as we speak will cost around $1,400 and currently the day I'm recording this video there is only 128 gigabytes of S20 variant. I'll come to that in a second. To be honest, this phone has a lot of downside in Southeast Asia region, of course, even though it's so powerful. Why, you may ask? Let's start explaining. Firstly, let's talk about the price. Before that, let's talk about the price of an iPhone in Singapore compared to United States. The currency of $1 will be around 1.3 to 1.4 Singapore dollar, but with deep research I found out that with import tax and with GST, the price of $1 will be around 1.63 Singapore dollar for iPhone prices. But I tend to see Samsung phones sell cheaper in Asian market compared to the Western counterpart. Samsung is absorbing the loss they get from the Asian market by increasing the price of the phones in the United States, United Kingdom, which is why you see the price of Samsung phones are expensive in these markets compared to the Asian markets. And I support Samsung in this situation, and I will never see Apple doing this in my entire lifetime. For Apple, it's just flat rate US dollars converted to local currency with import tax, and that's the iPhone prices, which is why you see in places like India and Malaysia, you can see the prices of iPhones are really expensive. People couldn't afford it that much, and that's the reason why Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra will be priced at 1,898 Singapore dollar. For information, that is around 1,365 US dollars. Not to mention the service tax United States will impose on their customers. Well, for me, 1,365 US dollars is a reasonable price considering the fact that you will get a free Galaxy Buds and maybe a 512 gigabytes of free upgrade if you pre-order the 120 gigabyte version. And also the mobile carriers in Southeast Asia region will deduct the price of the phones with some 24 months contract, which will make the price even more reasonable. So on the pricing department, the Asian market doesn't have a problem with Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra. Okay, to compare, the iPhone 11 Pro Max 256 gigabyte version will cost around 2,039 Singapore dollar, and the Galaxy S20 Ultra in 120 gigabytes of version will cost around 1,898 Singapore dollar. But is it worthy to spend 1,898 Singapore dollars on the Galaxy S20 Ultra? We'll come to that in a second. Now let's talk about the storage and the price that comes with it, and this is where my first hurdle comes. The phone will be packed around 16 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage. Samsung is selling the 512 gigabytes version of Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra, but as for now in Asian markets, that phone is still not available. 128 gigabytes of Ultra phone with 8K recording capabilities. It's nuts considering the fact that a minute of 8K footage will take around 600 megabytes of storage. And I still remember that Android fans were obliterating Apple for shipping phones with less storage in 2019. And yes, I know we can increase the storage by using a microSD card, but phone with these capabilities shouldn't come with 128 gigabytes of base storage. It should be bare minimum of 256 gigabytes. And don't forget the fact that if you use a microSD card, you will lose features for dual SIM, which Samsung are still using a hybrid SIM rather than eSIM. And this is one of the reasons why I think that consumer might oversee this Pro version and might go for the normal S20 variants. Okay, for supposedly 1,900 Singapore dollar, you are getting a triple camera with big scale specs, 16 gigabytes of RAM and 120 Hz promotion display, which weird enough will work only with Full HD rather than Quad HD, 5000 mAh batteries, 40 megapixel of front selfie camera and 6.9 inch of screen, which is by far the largest of the three. Well, there is no more extra spec which will make the Galaxy S20 Ultra stand out than the normal S20 variants. And I didn't include 5G purposely because in Asia, as per now, no one is using 5G, so that feature is pretty much non-existent. But if you are the 4s and 5s of the people who are using 5G, then this is for you. Okay, the usual question is $1,898 of phone with this much of spec is worthy enough to upgrade from the Galaxy S10 variant? Well, I would say go for it, provided if you sell your Galaxy S10 in a reasonable price. And that's another issue on Android phones. The market value of Android phones will depreciate quickly opposed to the iPhone. So good luck selling your Galaxy S10. And the reason I don't think that this phone will do well on the market, because the average consumer do not care about all these specs. Only the tech nerds like us care. The smartphone market isn't doing well at the moment overall, because market needs compromise, not innovation. For now, there is a reason why iPhone 11 is the best-selling smartphone currently. Apple went on to the compromise route rather than the innovation route last year, which has worked for them tremendously. But having said that, I'm glad that Samsung has released a phone with all specs are in maximum limit with what tech can offer at the moment. And also Samsung, thanks but no thanks for introducing a new starting price of $1,400 US. And I can already see how much the 12 Pro Max will cost. And that's it for today, guys, and hopefully I have answered one or two questions of yours. If I did, I'm happy for that. See you on the next video, guys. Until then, bye for now.